Alright, welcome to the second semifinal series in this season of Scrims. I'm going to start pulling up the player highlights real quick. Up first is the key matchup. It's Stanley versus Dave in the bot lane carry position. Over time, these players are 2-1 against each other in favor of Stanley. The champs they've played have been Talia, Victor, and Jin versus Dave's Jinx, Victor, and Sivir. That could be something to watch for. Dave could be trying to snag that Victor away from Stanley or the other way around. I think because Stanley is on blue side, he's the bigger Victor player. It wouldn't be surprised to see the Victor get banned away early on in that first round. Dave does have many more games in this position, but Stanley's win rate is also pretty strong. Pretty similar stats overall. I think it's going to be a good role to watch so far. The champs to watch overall are Peter's Irelia. Ans Viego is pretty, it's kind of scary in general with that 5-1 record with a 303 KDA. Blake's GP, another pretty obvious one, 4-0 all time with about a 3.5 KDA. Stanley's Victor bot is also undefeated, 3-0 record with almost a 5 KDA. And then Jacob's Nami is his most played champion with 17 games. I think he was telling me earlier that it's the most games anyone has on one single champion in the Scrim server. And he does have a 10-7 record with a 3 KDA about. Jackson's Volibear is another good pick to look out for. That could be getting banned against the Russycats. He's 3-1 on it all time. KDA isn't pretty strong, but he has a great kind of map presence and is able to split pressure pretty well. Silica's Shaco is another scary pick to look out for. He's undefeated on it and has a 7 KDA. I know Silico is also a big Teemo fan, and Echo has also been banned against this team. Both Silico and Cam play it. Cam plays a huge variety of champions, but his spotlighted champ is this Fizz. He's 3-0 on the champ, undefeated with a 5.36 KDA, which is absolutely disgusting. And Mimi's spotlighted champ is actually also Nami. So we could see a lot of prio for blue side throughout the series to try and grab either the Victor or Nami away from the other team. Mimi is 5-2 on the pick with a 6 KDA, replacing her spotlighted champ that used to be Seraphine, I'm pretty sure. Dave hasn't been playing too much of the Ashe recently, and last series he did play Brand AP carry both games, so that could be something to look out for in this coming draft. I think there's a lot of agency put onto red side here because they get the final say on whether both Victor and Nami get banned or whether neither get banned. So red side can kind of choose to let one of them through, which I think is probably going to be the wrong option, or they can try and get 0 or 2 of them to go through. If they let none go through, you kind of have to just play the draft without either of those picks, but red might be forced to waste some of their bans on these champions that they might want to get their hands on. But if you leave both of them up, what you could do is just trade picks. So one team could get that Nami, or they could get the Victor, and you kind of force is for me to choose one or the other. We should be getting into draft pretty soon. Should be about 1 minute for now. While I'm waiting for drafts, actually, you can just go ahead and get drafts. Should be starting any minutes. I'm expecting to see Gangplank at least banned out against is for me. Maybe the Viego I think would be a pretty good ban as well. The issue with red side kind of locking in too many bans early on is they can't really play against that Victor Nami double threat. That's kind of been held between these two teams over the last few series. The Russycats, good chance to ban against those would probably be the Teemo and the Shaco, and Echo, I think are all pretty good. Because I think is for me is looking to get the Russycats to kind of slip up and only ban one of those champions. Volibear could be another good ban against Jackson, but I'm not sure if they're actually going to go for that or not. Is really thinking about this ban right now. Not sure what we're going to see taken away here. It is the Volibear. Showing respect to Jackson, 3-1 on the pick. Pretty scary stuff. Belveth is hovered. If you'd really like to ban her, you can. She's actually disabled for the rest of this tournament because she was released partway through. So she won't be allowed to be played. So that would just be the same as a none ban. It is the Kale banned away from, I guess, Peter and potentially someone else. I'm not sure how deep the champion pools are. Not as I was expecting to see. I think this means that GP, Victor, or Nami is probably going to be left up because I don't see is for me banning any of those champs. That also means that Viego is probably also going to be left up. It would be interesting to see if they just ban like Kale, GP, Viego. Brand's taken off the table. I was talking about that earlier. Dave played it both games in the past series. He did get nerfed, so I don't know how valuable it is. Olaf's taken away. I think they're really trying to protect Jackson here. And then that Seraphine's locked in, taking that pick away from Mimi. So we could be seeing a Nami first pick here, and then Viego is also taken off the board. So that means that GP is up. I'd be shocked to see anything but a GP first pick here. But it looks like Victor's locked in because that was also left up. So the Russycats actually have the opportunity to take away the Nami here, which I think they should do. I don't know if they are going to pick away the GP, because I know Cam can play it. I know Silico can also play it, and they've had some lane swapping stuff going on, so really anything could happen here. This draft is very interesting. A lot of the power picks that you'd normally expect to see banned away from is for me are just all left on the table. Jin gets locked in. They probably think that's a good counter into the Victor. I'm expecting to see the Nami here because it pairs very well with that Jin. I think maybe they just developed a plan to kind of deal with this Victor AD carry, but it's always possible that Stanley ends up just playing it mid if he gets a bad matchup. I know Peter's also a big Victor player, so we could see some kind of shenanigans swapping the Victor pick around. If this isn't a Nami, though, I'll be very, very surprised. It ends up being a Fiora blind pick for Jackson. I feel like the Russycats draft is in shambles at this point. I don't really know why you do this when the Victor still has that flex potential, and Fiora is definitely a counterable champion. I think she's one of the strongest top laners in the meta right now, but I really don't think blinding a champion as volatile as Fiora into Peter can really go that well for you. This also leaves the Nami up to get locked in with the Victor, and we can see a GP here as well. You're giving, is for me, 3 of their favorite champions. The only one that gets taken away is potentially Viego, but Nocturne gets locked in instead. No Gangplank is taken, so we might not actually see it at all. I'm surprised that Blake didn't pick it when he had the chance to. And I guess we're still going to be thinking about this counter into Fiora for Peter. I'd be surprised to see if the Russycats don't put 2 more bans towards topside to kind of protect this Fiora pick. Maybe Peter just thinks that he has enough champions in his pool to deal with the Fiora no matter what. Wukong gets locked in. This could be jungle, could be mid. I know both Cam and Silico play it. It's also a really good Fiora counter. So it kind of protects their top lane pick and gives a very, very strong jungle champion to them with the option to flex it mid to Cam. Lucian's banned away. I think the Russycats believe is for me are going to be playing the Victor mid, so they're scared of the Lucian Nami combo, but I honestly don't know who on the side of is for me plays Lucian, so I'm not sure how good that ban is. Ahri's taken away. That's a pretty well-known Cam pick, so they could be assuming that the Wukong is definitely jungle, which I think is probably a fair assumption, and they're taking away some champions from Cam's pool. I am very surprised to see that there aren't more top lane bans put against is for me, but the Russycats could be assuming that Nocturne is the counter to Fiora, but I really don't know. Poppy's taken away. I don't think Peter's a huge Poppy player, but it does make Fiora pretty difficult to play. Yumi's banned away. Jin Yumi, pretty strong lane, and Yumi versus Nami. Nami has to play pretty well to punish the Yuumi for detaching, and they don't have a lot of CC drafted on their team, so it could be pretty threatening, especially with that Wukong and Fiora available on the table too, because Yuumi pairs pretty strongly with those two bruisers. Not sure what the Russycats are going to pick up here. It could be that support, which I think would make the most sense, because then they'll have counter for mid, but yeah, okay, it looks like Morgana's locked in to pair with the Jhin. So I'm assuming bot lane is going to be Victor Nami versus Jhin Morgana, but it could always be the Victor mid. So is for me with their final two picks are likely going to lock in a mid laner blind and a top lane counter pick to this Fiora. I'm excited to see what Peter's going to pick here. He has a lot of options. It looks like he locks in the Darius. Appears to not be loading my screen, but looks good for everyone else. Darius versus Fiora is a very skill-heavy matchup, and Peter is pretty confident into his lane opponent, I assume. He's going to lock that one in. And then their last pick is Garen?
My god, what is that draft?
There's no... Okay. Message in general. It's Ezreal. Okay.
Wow, they have a really AD carry?
Right?
Wait, who's playing Ezreal?
I don't know. Maybe Peter? Alright, so Ezreal is locked in. This is Peter's fault. Of course it's Peter's fault. And then Vel'Koz is locked in against, I assume, the Victor. It really couldn't have not been scuffed, huh? Yeah, I'm really confused who's playing the Ezreal. I feel like it could be Stanley, but it might be Blake. I really don't know. Looks like they might change the last pick because it's not a Garen. Oh my god. This is why you're supposed to send the messages in the scheduling thread and ping the team when you change it, so that they actually know the pick is changed. Oh, huge. I got a Braum champion shard. No way. It's Tom Kench. What in the hell? Is this Morgana mid, Tom Kench bot lane? I really don't know. I honestly don't know what like the most surprising thing about this draft is, because is for me choosing blue side with Peter on their team. There's them having an actual AD carry. There's GP just going through the entire draft. And then the Tom Kench lock-in I think is also really weird, because I don't know who would be playing that. Unless Cam's playing it mid? I don't know. What do you think?
Wait, is Blake playing GP? I don't even follow.
No. No one picked GP. It didn't get banned, didn't get picked.
Oh, really? GP is
Like,
not bad right now.
Right. That's why I'm confused. Like, I feel like nothing in this draft makes any sense. because the Russycats leave up both Victor and Nami, which I think is like a good thing to trade. Um, and then they proceed to not trade the pick. So Stanley gets Victor, and then even though Michaela's been playing a bunch of Nami recently, they don't even pick that up for her. So Jacob also just gets the Nami. So I was talking earlier about how when you're drafting, you have two big power picks. You usually want to leave on red side. You want to leave 2 or 3 of them up, 3 if possible, because that means you get to secure 2 of them. Then Russycats leave 2 up, and then give them both to the other team. I don't know. In the lobby, they're saying Ezreal mid, which is kind of what I was thinking also, because it looks like Blake is still being mid lane. So he could just be playing as mid.
Who is the against Victor?
No, into Tom Kench? I don't know. Their team comp is Jin, Fiora, Wukong, Morgana, Tom Kench. So maybe Morgana? I really don't know what's mid. Because I'd assume Michaela's playing the Morgana. But I don't know, like...
You're scared. Good to know.
I don't know. Like, I don't know where Tom Kench would go. Unless it's like Wukong jungle, Fiora mid, Tom top. Oh, okay. It looks like Silico's playing Fiora top into Peter's Darius, with Jackson playing Wukong jungle. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, I think it's Ezreal mid from Blake versus Michaela playing Morgana mid. But then Blake just locked in Victor mid. I didn't know he played Victor. What is happening?
Oh.
Alright, I'm gonna pull up the player spotlights real quick. Player spotlight for the Russycats is Silico. He's got 46 games played, exact 50% win rate, 30 different champions across 46 games, a pretty diverse champion pool, and he has a 3.39 KDA. His most champs are the Echo, Teemo, Shaco, Sin, and Viego. Only one of those was touched in this draft, being the Viego. And then the spotlighted player for for me is Peter. His most played champions are Irelia, Riven, Kale, Wukong, and Cho'Gath. That Kale did get banned away. He's got 74 games played, 58% win rate, and only 25 champions played across 74 games, which means he's averaging almost 2 times as many games per champion as Silico is. He does have that 2.63 KDA across his game, so he's a bit less assistive player, but I guess that does make sense because I think Silico probably has more games in the jungle, which generally gets more assists than solo lanes. Anyway. Alright, so just kind of looking at what people have locked in, it looks like it's Cam and Dave in the bot lane with Jin, Tom Kench versus Stanley and Jacobs, Ezreal, Nami. And then the mid lane matchup is Blake versus Michaela with Victor, Morgana. And then Anne's Nocturne versus Jackson's Wukong. And then Peter versus Silico on the Darius versus Fiora matchup, which I think is probably going to be the most exciting part of this game. And a trade just happened right at the end, giving Ezreal to Blake in the mid lane and Victor to Stanley in the bot lane, which is kind of what I thought was going to happen. I guess they're just pulling some shenanigans and champ select. I feel like you love to see that from them. And Cam's complaining about it in general chat. Rules could have been... I like how he's like complaining about the exact reason why you do the strategy. Like you pick flex picks because you can pull these shenanigans. Like this is just valid draft play. I don't know. Funny to see.
I actually think it's not worth it to trade like that because Victor is super free against Morgana. Morgana just gets shit on by any mage.
Right. I mean, I feel like regardless of which position is better, it is definitely fine to swap the picks like in champ select. Like, you know, that's what you get for having flex picks that you can do that for. I don't know. I also think this should have been pretty obvious because if you have Victor in the game and Stanley's not the one playing it, like something's probably gone horribly wrong. And I feel like Blake playing Ezreal mid is like or Blake playing Victor mid would be like way too conventional for him. Like the Ezreal mid is definitely more on brand, I guess. I don't know. I kind of want to generate a graphic for Peter versus Silico in the top lane. I think that would be pretty interesting. Just because I don't really remember how many times they've played each other and stuff. I should be pulling that up shortly. Swap over. Oh, okay. So Peter and Silico have actually only played against each other 3 times. Silico's top lane win record overall is actually 8-14, which is much lower than I thought it was. And he has a 3.02 KDA. Their matchup stats are actually pretty funny. Silico is 2-1 against Peter all time, and his picks are Leona, Kled, and Aatrox versus Peter's Jax, Camille, and Wukong. I want to say the Leona was versus the Camille, the Kled was versus the Wukong, and the Aatrox was versus the Jax, but I honestly don't remember, and I forget how the algorithm sorts them. But Silico definitely has a way of playing that just kind of confuses Peter and allows him to kind of gain an advantage by just playing differently than how Peter's normal like ranked opponents play, which I think makes this lane very, very fun to look forward to.
The mental work.
Yeah, the Leona one was hilarious. Silico is bringing Ignite on the Fiora, which I don't know if I was like expecting that or not. Peter has the Ghost, which I think is pretty necessary for Darius. All the other summoner spells are probably as expected. I guess Stanley probably could have gone like TP or something on Victor. I'm not really expecting the heal. They do both have Electrocute in the bot lane, so a lot of burst potential, and then 3 Conquerors on the top side. Only 2 different Keystones across the entirety of is for me. I can't tell if I like really like the Russycats draft this game or think it's like super ego and not a good decision. Because I feel like on one hand you have like the really good flex of banning super heavily out against Peter, kind of making it look like Jackson's the one playing top, and then just having it be Silico the whole time. So Peter could kind of be tricked into ego picking something that he might not have wanted to play into Silico, and then you get Jackson to play the Wukong jungle, which is pretty solid. But then you also end up with Michaela in the mid lane instead of Cam, which I don't know if that's like super worth it. especially on like, I mean, I have no clue how the Ezreal Morgana matchup goes. I don't know. You know?
Probably fine.
Yeah.
Fine for Ezreal.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Morgana's just a good laner in general.
Right. I feel
I
like
think she, like,
Jake's mates
easy.
picks it a bunch, but they can get away with it because they just have a bunch of players who are really good at Morgana and only play Morgana, kind of. Or not like only play Morgana, but play a lot of it. So it makes more sense for them to go for it. I feel like here you definitely have better options than any Morgana mid.
Oh my. Oh shit.
Peter is like destroying Silico in lane so far. The lane is definitely more Darius favored earlier into the game. Surprised that Riposte didn't hit. I think the Darius pull might have just missed. Dave getting some good trades onto Stanley there, bot. And trying to deny some of that CS under tower. Peter should just be dead here. He flashes away, which allows him to live through the ignite, so it's actually pretty well played by Peter. I'm surprised Wukong didn't flash to secure the kill, but he could have just thought that the ignite would have been enough. But double thumbs out from both top laners for that one. And it kind of frees up the lane for Silico to make up for what he lost. Blake just narrowly missing that. Zach has to flash away from Victor W to avoid dying. Like both teams are just trying to fight all across the map. Very hard to keep track of what's... Blake, having just started a tier, is able to force the Morgana out of lane and have like a 17 CS advantage, though. Is looking pretty good for them. I feel like top lane is pretty even, and jungle and bot lane kind of cancel each other out. It's worth noting that Jackson's ganked twice so far this game, and Ant's just been power farming, probably through 6 because of the Nocturne pick, so I think, yeah, that's like about a 600 gold advantage to Is for me. Pretty much just off the jungle, I think, and the mid lane. Yeah, now that top lane's kind of gone back to a neutral state, Peter's allowed to continue bullying the Fiora off the wave. Jackson's caught up to Ann and CS, but Is for me should be taking the dragon here, which is pretty solid for them. An early, I think, Ocean Drag? No, it's Mountain. Never mind. Blake's sitting on the Sheen now, helping him poke a lot more with his Qs. The Morgana spell shield only blocking an Ezreal Q, which doesn't do magic damage, so not too much use there. It honestly could have made sense to leave the black shield unleveled for probably until like level 4 or 5, just because it's not going to really affect you much until Nocturne comes to the lane. Silico looks to go in here. We might see the ultimate come out. Yep. 1 vital, 2 vital, 3. Not quite able to hit all 4. And Peter hits him with the true damage execute from Darius to secure first blood. And Ezreal is fired bot lane, doesn't hit either member. One of the biggest things in the Fiora-Darius matchup is how Fiora used the riposte, and Silico actually wasn't able to block anything with it. If he's able to predict a stun off of the E, or block the true damage from the ultimate, it's pretty heavily favored for the Fiora, but if he's not able to get either of those stun, then it's pretty tough. Stanley's gonna have to body block for Jacob here. Probably all 4 shots. Tom Kench is going in, but he just walks right into Ant's Nocturne ult, which just kind of kills him. They got pretty greedy for that tower dive. I think even if the Nocturne hadn't been there, I think Tom Kench still dies and isn't able to get anything out of it. Pretty sure Jackson should be able to steal away this red buff, but there's another fight happening in the top lane. No ult for either of them, so it could go slightly differently. Peter does have flash, and so does Silico. Peter flashes first, Silico flashes in reaction. Peter has a lot more health, and it looks like Silico is probably going to back here, so definitely a winning fight for Peter. Cam's roaming up mid, trying to catch out Blake here. The missed binding probably means that nothing's going to happen. And Cam looks like he might try to continue up towards top side, but ends up deciding not to. Blake is ticking down dangerously low here to the Morg W, especially with Cam right there. Now he gets hit by the binding, just way overstays. Gives a kill over to the Tom Kench. Jackson's close to getting Ann here, but Peter should be able to just finish this one up. Flash is traded. Oh, Jackson's actually able to grab the kill and hop out over the wall. If he's able to get to Fiora in time, he might just be able to escape there. That was a great play by Jackson. The Ezreal teleport comes in, but he seems to not know that Jackson's there, so isn't able to get anything out of it, besides just getting back to lane. Jackson was definitely a bit behind earlier in the game, but that invade onto Ann was actually very powerful and gives him pretty good footing, if not a lead in the jungle. Ant's caught out here. There's 3 members of the enemy team. Rude hit, knocked up. Ults, but isn't really going to be able to get anything out of it. Stanley and Jacob are here to kind of clean up the fight, but I don't really know how much they're going to get out of this, because this is a 3v4 for IFM. Stanley's knocked up. Might end up dying here to Tom Kench. Dave flashes for the kill. Is very, very close to him dying as well. The Ezreal isn't able to pick him up. Despite being down 2 kills, IFM still does hold about a 400 gold lead. But I think the Dragons are going to be even, because this should be a pretty easy pickup for the Russycats. Peter walks up for a tower plate and takes some damage in trade. He wasn't able to trade back until after he got out of tower range. Otherwise, I think he is in a much better position than Silico is at the time being. Up about 22 CS. Blake actually ended up buying a cull here. I guess he bought it when he was at 95 CS, so it'll be completed once he hits 195. Just trying to get as much gold as possible. I guess he's trying to translate the Gangplank playstyle onto the Ezreal. Yeah, there's about 1,000 gold lead in both solo lanes, which is completely made up for by the bot lane. Jackson's ulting down onto Blake. Shouldn't be able to pick up the kill here. Blake might be able to trade something back, but he doesn't have that ultimate up. Or maybe he just used it. Beginning of the play. Stanley gets jumped on bot lane, but is able to just get out. The Nocturne ulti came down mid, but didn't really get much. Cam is continuing to fight, and looks like he should just be fine. Yeah, now there's about 1,000 gold lead in favor of his for me. Anne's able to scare the Rift Herald. Could be holding it until the next dragon comes up, but that's in 2.5 minutes, so I'm not sure if it'll last long enough for that. Four members of the Russycats are collapsing on Peter, but he should just be able to walk back to his tower, especially with the Nocturne there to back him up. But I'm not sure he knows quite how many of them there are looking for him. Both IFM members are able to safely back out, and Jackson is going to the Wolves to try and invade them, but gets there before they come up, so he doesn't know that they're spawning back in. I'm liking the aggressive jungle positioning. Definitely trying to punish whatever Anne leaves up for him to take. Oh. Peter's fighting. He shouldn't be able to win this 1v2. Silico's able to complete all 4 vitals. Peter hits both with the Q, heals a bunch. Silico hasn't been able to get over the wall yet, just flashes. Peter's able to get 1 kill and might be able to get the reset. Doesn't even need it. Actually, insane play from Peter to win that one. Ezreal does absolutely nothing. Looks like there's some pings going down onto Anne. Blake definitely wanted that kill. Or, I guess Jacob was the one who ended up taking it, but... Yeah, Peter is insanely strong right now in the Darius. If they were able to play that fight right and take him out with both Tom Kench and the Fiora, it could have been big, but because they weren't able to, I'm not sure if they're really going to be able to stop him. And that's just a free kill gifted over to Blake. Not sure they were trying to contest the Rift Herald push. Stanley taking about half his health and got locked up. Cam moved from behind, gets the knock up onto the Nami. And the huge damage going down onto the Jhin. Not enough to kill, but definitely quite a bit. Stanley might be pushed up just a bit too far here. Gets knocked out by the Tom Kench. He should just die. He's able to level up, but the Devour is able to get him under tower and take him down. Jackson just walks up and easily steals the Ocean Drag. He's gonna fall for it. Cam is running in trying to get some kills. I don't know. Really gonna be able to get anything done here. Actually, Dave's here for the re-engage. Blake's able to pick up a kill onto Cam, but should ultimately fall to Morgana. Dave is still trying to get some damage onto these two remaining members. He might be able to get both. The W, but he should just be able to walk. The flash comes out from Jacob though, so Dave's gonna have to get lucky with a shot. Decides not to chase it, which could be the right move, especially with the Darius sitting in the mid lane. That was a 2-for-2 trade with Jackson getting a Dragon Steel though, so definitely good to see for the side of the Russycats. But there's about a 4,000 or 5,000 gold lead. Very, very rough for the Russycats to play into. There's about 2,000 of it in the mid lane, 2,000 of it in the top lane, and there's about 1,000 gold difference in the jungle as well. Dave is looking pretty strong here on the Jhin. He's up about 1,200 gold, but it's pretty tough to play around just a Jhin. Although, if you do have to do it, this is a pretty nice comp because the tankiest member they have is that Darius, and he's not really building any health besides the Triforce so far. Blake has not yet completed the call, but he's got it down to about 17 remaining stacks. Pretty close to a Flame Horizon also. Really seems to just be adapting his Gangplank style onto this Ezreal pick. Stanley's caught in between 3 different people. The Wukong ult comes up, gets knocked up by Cam, and Dave just finishes him off. More kills being gifted over to the Jhin. Exactly what you want to see for the Russycats. They're gonna have to try and play like a 1-4 comp, I think. Keep everyone kind of clustered around the Jhin and keep them alive, and hope that the Fiora is going to be able to do something on the side lane. But she definitely is not a match for the Darius right now, which is pretty tough for them. Is going to be able to split the map way better, especially with the Nocturne being able to side lane well with his ultimate. And then Ezreal and Darius are both pretty safe laners. Ezreal just because of his kit, and Darius because of the huge lead that he has. Blake with only 6 CS remaining to complete his call. Going to be very, very strong once that completes. Alright, Blake completes his call. His gold lead's at almost 3,000 at this point. And he's sitting on almost 2,000 of it right now, so he'll probably back to complete the boots and buy some item components for whatever he's getting next. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Sereldius, just because it's a pretty good core item on Ezreal with that slow, and the armor penetration is going to be especially good against the Tahm Kench and also Wukong, who gets that natively stacking armor from his passive. Next drag spawning in about a minute, and Baron is active, so I'm not sure if these teams are going to try and go for either of those. Jacob and Cam are pretty close together in the river. Jacob went for a play on Cam, but wasn't able to hit him with the bubble. Stanley actually gets snared by the Jhin W. He might be dead here. I'm not sure. It's a 3v4, and the Nocturne gets caught out, so they don't have that extra flank team fight that the Nocturne offers. Pretty good Nami ultimate, but Am's just dead here. Great flash ult from the Wukong. Cam's able to eat up Victor. Jackson ends up falling down to Victor. Dave runs onto the back. Silico's able to pick up the kill onto Stanley. Then the Ezreal ult finally finishes off Dave, giving a huge shutdown over to Blake. Silico's going for Blake. If he should be able to get this, he does. So it's 3 members remaining versus Peter. I think they just get out of here. Peter can definitely kill all 3 of them. Gets the pull onto Mimi, and the ult just kills it, and then kills Silico as well. Cam might be able to get out of this. Yeah, barely manages to. I think they really just underestimated how strong Peter was there. Very unfortunate that Michaela's flash wasn't able to get her away from the ultimate. That's a 5-minute burn cooldown to get basically nothing. I think the Russycats are going to have to give up this dragon. The Darius is just too strong. Yeah, they have no one here to help them. The Jin's somewhat in the area, but he's not going to get there in time. Michaela teleports in and just takes a crap ton of damage from Ezreal. And Stanley goes to try and finish him off. The Victor ult goes down, able to finish off that kill. Blake is firing at no HP, but trying to take down Morgana. So that was 3 members dead and didn't even get the dragon. Especially when you do have that 2-to-1 dragon advantage, I think it could make a lot of sense to just kind of back off and let the Darius not try and force anything. But they're punished for doing the opposite of that. That is another death going down onto Jin, which I believe he still had 150 gold left on his bounty. Blake is building towards the Soreldias. Might be able to finish it now after that fight. Yep. Stanley knocked up by Tahm Kench, snared by Jin, and he should just be dead for this one. I don't know if you needed that Tahm Kench ultimate. It stalls long enough for Ann to show up to get the fight. There's a kill by Nami onto Wukong somehow elsewhere on the map. Ezreal's getting a lot of kills here. That's a double kill, and he also had that assist from the Nami onto Wukong. Not exactly sure where that happened. I'm going to go back. So as Cam was going down here, Wukong goes on to Ezreal, gets buffed up by Nami and is able to finish off that kill. Probably the Electric Fleet taking it. Yeah, so that's a 3-for-1 for me. They're pretty much just disassembling the Russycats comp here. Definitely stronger in the fights. Cam's had pretty good W's going for the knockups and the picks, but I think it's for me simply just too strong and too grouped together for him to actually be able to pick anyone off. The combination of the Devour onto Stanley as well as the Hourglass did keep him in place long enough for the whole team to kind of get there. So I think in the future, if they're looking for picks, they either look to not go on someone with Sonya's, or you just don't use that Tahm Kench ultimate. Hope that you have enough damage. Because Jin definitely would have been able to pick up that kill. The ult's almost able to pick up Jackson, which is pretty big right before Baron. Doesn't look like Is4Me is going to go for that, but Dave is caught out here, I think. Stanley able to last hit Jackson. just be one auto onto that tower to take it down. Stanley snared up again, but this Ezreal is just too strong. He's sitting on 3 items. He's got the Flame Horizon, and he's sitting on 7, 3, and 7. He's up, I want to say 2 levels on anyone else on the Russycats. Deals so much damage. I think for the rest of the series, Russycats are going to need to focus more on stopping the solo laners of Is For Me from getting this strong. Not sure if they do that by putting Silico in the jungle and kind of pressuring those lanes more, or just picking aggressive jungler, or just trying to play around a side select more using counter picks to make sure that they have better lane matchups. Because of the order the picks were done, okay, it looks like there's not going to be a fight here. Yeah, because of the orders the picks were done, Is For Me actually got to dictate both lane matchups. Maybe not intentionally, but Ezreal was locked in after Morgana, and the Fiora was definitely counterpicked by the Darius. Cam goes up too far and gets another kill with Blake. Blake actually just backed and bought an entire Frozen Heart. Doesn't add too much damage to him, but I don't really think he needed it, and it makes him a lot tankier. Especially helpful against that Jhin. Don't really have any other damage sets for him besides Jhin. It was pretty effective. Silco does get on top of him. He's extended pretty far up. Not able to get any kills there, but he does get a Wukong flash and the ultimate. In trade for a dragon, putting Is For Me at soul point, but that shutdown going over to Fiora is huge. Silico's done well to bring himself pretty far back into the game. He's almost on par with Dave in terms of how much gold he has, which puts him significantly behind the Darius and Ezreal, but on par with Anne. Not sure how much of a threat he is overall, but didn't suffer too much super long term from the rough laning. Fiora does have a lot of scaling potential, which should help out a lot. Blake hits 3 with the ultimate. Is For Me's up more than 10,000 gold. I think it's going to take a bit of a miracle for the Russycats to get back into this game. If they are getting picks like they did onto Blake earlier, that could be big, but Silco's going for Peter. Is not able to finish the Grand Duel, and Peter's picking up what looks like it might be a triple kill on the top side. He actually ends up falling to Morgana, and that is exactly what they need to get back in this game. That's 1,000 gold, gives it over to Morgana. Jackson is able to get out, had the spell shield on him, but also got eaten by the Tahm Kench. Michaela has to flash away, but does live. But Jackson goes up almost too far there. Stanley stops redirecting the Chaos Storm, so he is not able to finish off the Wukong. Blake teleports to the opposite side of the map to kind of help out that siege. Blake does get rooted. There's 3 members here. It might not be enough to kill him. And walks up way too far, though, and falls to Jin. The Jin ult comes down. I think all that really does is just give Ezreal an easier target to shoot at, because he's not low enough for the execute to come in. Peter collapsed on by 2 members. He might be able to outplay this again, but actually, yes, he's still alive. They're able to kill Silico, and they also get to take out Jackson. Blake's in really deep. Uses the E already and does not have flash to get himself out any farther. Stanley flash heals to try and get there in time, but isn't able to pick anything up. Blake's positioning very, very aggressively, but I think his for me is just too far ahead for that to really be punishing. And should be soloing out the last Ocean Dragon to give them that Ocean Soul. Very, very powerful. Especially with the durability patch, because champions are able to stay alive longer, which gives them more time to heal up. This should be a pretty easy Baron pickup. Like is for me might be able to end off this push. Not entirely sure though. The Jin ult comes down, is able to get the Guardian Angel out from Anne. Really good accuracy there. They do appear to keep pushing. I'm not sure if they have enough to end here though. Blake's still positioning really aggressively, taking a lot of, actually not that much damage at all from Jin, but he was getting free hit there for a bit. Like they've moved their siege over to the top side, able to get a tower, and now looking for inhib. They're able to grab the top inhib, that's 2, not quite at that triple inhib threshold. But they're moving up. That Chaos Storm hits 3, and Ant goes in, is able to pick up the Jin and the Tahm Kench. And that's an ace, and that should just be the end of the game. Really, really well played is for me. All right, so we are moving into next game. The Russycats got side selection and chose blue side. All right, so we are moving into draft for the next game. We can get rid of these Ezreal and Tom Kench. The Ezreal is taken away from Is For Me. That was clearly a menacing enough pick that they don't want to see it again. I really think it's pretty much just GP, but he looks different. Blake played that almost the exact same way as he would have played Gangplank. It did about just as well, so I'm surprised to see it banned, but I guess it does take him off what he played last time, so it's another good ban. Volibear is banned away from Jackson. Even if he does end up in the jungle again, it's a pretty good ban for both. And then Nami is banned away, so they could be trying to cut down this pool. Kind of trick is for me into letting them get Victor, but not Nami, because that would allow the Russycats to secure the Victor without having to give up that Nami over to the side of IFM. If Is For Me is scared enough of the Victor being picked away, they could ban it themselves, but I don't know if that's super necessary here. Zillion is banned away from Stanley, though, so they could be picking Victor and try and cut down on his AD carry pool pretty significantly. Timo and Shaco were left up last game for Silico in the jungle, so they could send Jackson top and then pick one of those for Silico. Seraphine's banned away from Mimi. Does cut down on the champion she played, but she did end up playing that Morgana mid, so we could see something like that again. Viego is going to be first picked here for the Russycats, I think, which gives Stanley Victor again. But he wasn't really the problem that game, because that Jhin is still up for them to pick into it. Viego was banned away on red side by the Russycats, and this could be a huge meta read from them, knowing that Viego is one of the strongest champions, at least in the scrims recently. And them able to grab it up without having to play into it in the previous game is pretty big for them. Looking at just Season 3 stats, Viego is the most picked champion and has an incredible 85% win rate. It has 11 wins, only 2 losses, and has an average KD of 10, 5, and 7. And is the most prolific player of it, 5-0 on that champion, but Silico's also played it twice and has an insane 18, 6, and 12 average KD on it across 2 games. The only losses Viego's actually had this season have been when Blake plays it in lane. Joey and Logan have also played it in the jungle and haven't lost either. Looks like Victor Yumi potentially getting locked in the bot lane here. And the Soraka is being hovered. Could be locked in for Mimi here. If we filter these Viego stats to just this team format, it puts Anne and Silico at similar KDs and both have 2 wins, 0 losses on the pick, similar to Joey. And I think that puts Viego's win-loss for just the team format at 7-1, which is pretty ridiculous. Looks like Soraka Zeri is picked up as the bot lane for the Russycats. Could be more confident playing this into the Victor Yumi. I don't like the Victor Yumi as much as the Victor Nami, but I think that is obviously why you banned that Nami to get rid of it. Kane's locked in. Could be a jungle pick. I know Blake's also played lane Kane, so it could be something like that. We'll have to see. I know it says for the roles that it's Blake top, Logan, jungle, and mid Stanley's ADC and Jacob support, but it could be other things. I know Logan also does play some AD carry, so we could see Stanley playing Victor in the mid lane. Timo's banned away. I don't know how good of a ban that is, because I think it's probably Silico on the Viego, but if it is Jackson on the Viego, I think the Timo's a pretty good takeaway. We could be seeing Anna in the jungle, Blake top lane, Stanley mid with the Victor, and then Logan ADC. This could be actually pretty big because I know Logan is a huge Twitch player. So we could see a Twitch Yumi coming out, especially with how strong Twitch is in the meta right now. That Ahri banned away from Cam again. They really don't want him having access to it. I'm surprised Ahri's getting banned away without the Talia. also getting banned away. It could be that they don't think he's played enough of it since the rework to be threatened by it. But we could see that come out here. It could be pretty exciting. The Darius is banned away. Hubbard, at least, is not actually locked in. Scion and Nasus, I don't think any of these picks make sense considering I don't think Peter is playing this game. Aatrox is banned away, which is a pretty well-known Blake pick, so I think that makes sense. And then the Twitch is locked in. Okay, so this is what I thought. I think this is going to be Logan, AD carry, Stanley mid with the Victor blind, and in the jungle with Kayn, and then Blake is going to lock in a top laner with the last pick. A lot of things it could be. The GP is still up. We could maybe see something like Singed. The Viego obviously isn't available. I know that's something that he's liked to gone to a lot in the past. This is very exciting. Looks like top lane this season, he's just played GP, so we could see that again. Vygar's picked into the Victor. I tend to favor Victor in that matchup just because he does have that range advantage over Vygar. And Ornn is locked in. This could just be a mental pick because I've heard Blake absolutely lose it about Ornn. So we'll have to see. And then it looks like Zach is hovered, not locked in. So it looks like that is the Ornn as the final lock-in for the Russycats. Be fun to see who gets locked in as the final pick in the draft is for me. This is probably going to be a top laner for Blake. Not entirely sure. I'd love to see the GP again. It is actually a Lilia pick. It's probably just Lilia top for Blake. Even though she is mainly known as a jungle champion. But I guess we'll just kind of have to see how it goes.
Your worst decisions will haunt you.
Never look back.
Tyrant.
You used to.
I must not fall. There's always another way.
your future.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned. turret has been destroyed.
And the zoomies!
I have been muted the whole time. I apologize. Blake's going in trying to get some damage down, but with this rock right there, everyone's just healing up. Logan's going for a play, grabs the kill onto the Vigar, which is huge. Again, the Soraka ult just comes down right down after it save anyone, and Stanley's able to pick up the kill onto the Soraka with his Chaos Storm. Pretty big play for them. Silico's gotten around behind Anne. Might be able to get a kill here. The stun hits. Gets him down to about half. Anne goes inside with the ultimates. Silico hits another stun. Holds his ultimate and ends up dying to Kayn. Anne gets to knock up. And gets another kill. That's a double kill for Anne. Insane play. Silico is just a bit too conservative with his ultimate and flash cooldowns there. I really could have gotten something. Alright, double knockup from Cam. Brittle's applied to both. Stanley's pretty low, and it looks like they're going to get the kill into Blake, too. Yep. Once again, Jackson getting a solid ult down, finishing off the kill. Seems like Silico knows a lot of the weight of the game is riding on him, so he's going for a lot of plays. He started off the game pretty well, but now it just seems like he's going for a bit too much. He's definitely suffering the consequences with those 8 deaths that he's doing. I was looking pretty good for the Russycats a bit ago when Vigar, Diego, and Zeri were all kind of getting work done, but it has not been going well for them since then. Viego gets the Kraken Slayer upgraded from Ornn, and I believe there should be another Ornn item somewhere, but I don't see what it is. He could have not crafted it yet.
Back on my own.
Blake again, dodging around Cam. There's a lot of people coming to collapse, but Blake just holds ult, does not want to use it on just the Ornn. Hasn't done that all game. The whole squad is kind of playing up into the river, but they're surrounded by IFM members. The Lilia Yumi is pretty strong, and Anne's coming to the back of the fight, gets a double knockup onto Zac and onto the Ornn. A lot of healing going down with the Zeri, and she's able to hop up the wall and stay alive. Knockup comes down, but Blake's able to get the kill onto Soraka, and Anne dies under tower to the Vigar ultimate. Silico's looking for a play onto Stanley, but isn't quite able to get it yet. Chaos Storm's going down into Ornn, but Ornn uses the bonus movement speed from the Cloud Rift. Flash and try an E onto Stanley, doesn't quite get it. Fights so hard for Russycats to force. It just be the positioning of it. Logan stealth, not sure if he's going to be able to do anything here. Playing just out of that vision. Blake sweeps, clears out the ward.
It's just you and me, book.
Feels like Is For Me's let go of their lead a little bit. But it really depends on if Silco's going to be able to get some pretty good team fights to kind of punish this down. The second upgrade actually goes to the Moonstone for Mimi. Probably hoping that that extra healing is going to help keep their carries alive during extended. Makes sense to me. Cam, trying to keep himself alive, is able to do it. The fog from Silico discourages them from going for anything. Ant's hit with the stun. Silico's coming here to try and make sure this doesn't happen. The flash stun from Diego does not miss. That's just an easy Vigar ultimate. Silico's got the Cam body. Or nothing. Cam body. And then Stanley falls to Silico. That's another reset. Twitch is able to just pop the Soraka. Silico's falling asleep. That's a bunch of damage onto him. He just falls. And Logan might be able to get this kill. Actually, the kill goes over to Yumi. I mean, it looks like they're just pushing down mid. They do have their AD carry alive. It's 31 minutes in. Looks like they're turning for Baron. They're able to secure the Baron onto all 5 of their members. We have some resets coming out. Stock up on items. Twitch has hit the 4 items. Power Spike. Picking up. Oh, and also has a Bloodthirster on top of it. His team fighting is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Is For Me secures the 3rd dragon. Silka goes in for a stun, tries to burst down Blake. He's just taking so much damage that Chaos Storm's able to pick him up. And Logan gets a kill onto the Vigar. It looks like they're just walking down mid and trying to end. That's a huge Baron wave. There's 4 items on Twitch are definitely helping him out a lot. Stanley's looks like he's a bit caught out, but the Yumi's hopped onto him trying to keep him alive. He ends up being able to get out. The Drowsy comes down, keeps everyone off of Stanley and Logan, and they're just gunning down the members of Russycats. That's 4 dead, kind of splitting across the map, and this should just be the game. Good series from this.
mean,